What's going on, man? We back at the After Hours podcast reaction video time tonight. We got, the holidays popping up or whatever. Thanksgiving is around the corner, so I've been trying to stick to my little routine, putting out you know, cook stuff y'all can cook and eat. I mean, and like I said, for those who don't celebrate Thanksgiving, whatever, you know what I'm saying? But this is just, like I said, we all know how the holidays is. Just take it for what it is, man. Okay, just you make food to get with your family, to spend time with your loved ones. These are the times. It's sad that we have to come together at these times to just be around each other to spend time, because sometimes that might be the only time we have time because of work schedules and stuff like that, or maybe it's just family issues or whatever. And so, you got the older heads that be trying to bring the younger people together, or whoever that's not seeing eye to eye, back into the family group or the family circle. So, like on my previous show last year, when I had about the recipes and stuff, I explained to y'all how my grandma was. If you ain't seen it, go check it out, whatever. But she didn't play that. You know what I'm saying? When she cooked, it's dinner time. You get along with each other. You take that shit outside and finish it out there. When you in her house, you respect it and you love each other. So we about to get into this to see what this young nice lady got prepped and what she's about to cook for the holidays. And she got some holiday recipes that y'all can use, you know what I'm saying, to make your holidays a better feastful holiday, or whatever you want to call it. But yeah, and on the promotional platform, you already know, go check out the rest of my reaction podcast video shows and everything. And I for those, I haven't brung up the Rabbit Hole Cypher in a while, but it's in there somewhere. So that's another show that I did. And I'm gonna let y'all in no secret. I might release the other two shows that I did previously before that. Just letting y'all know I might. But anyway, we about to hop into this and see what she's cooking.
Hey y'all, it is the time of year for feasting, and I can assure you that no matter how many good meals you done had, baby, you always got another stomach for another one, okay? And if anyone has anything to say about it, just tell them you trying to build up a little fat so you can hibernate from about January to March, okay? So today I am going to show you a delicious soul food feast with some of my favorite recipes. Let's go ahead and get started. The first recipe I'm going to show you is some fried turkey legs, but this is not like your traditional fried turkey where you season it and then fry it in oil. No, dear, we are going to fry this turkey just like we fry some good old chicken. Okay, we're going to marinate it. We're going to put some buttermilk on it, and then we are going to add a batter, and then we're going to fry it, y'all. This is some of the best.
I am so glad that she demonstrated this, because yes, people use hot sauce and mustard and egg when they fry their chicken. I know I do. So when I used to make chicken or certain stuff like this, and people like, why you got hot sauce? And man, look, this is how I was raised. This is how I see my mama cook it. I think her mama cooked it like that. This is how I seen some of my aunties and my sisters cook their meat. I don't know. It just stuck with me, and that's how I fry my turkey and chicken. But I'm glad she demonstrated this so people can quit being like, don't nobody do that. Yes, they do.
Best fried turkey I've ever had. So if you've never had battered fried turkey, please give this a try. So first I'm going to go in with some hot sauce, and I'm just going to season this just like I season my fried chicken, with some chipotle garlic seasoning, chicken seasoning, lemon pepper. Really, the spices here don't matter. Whatever you like on your fried chicken, baby, including a little bit of MSG. Baby, don't be ashamed to use some MSG. Okay, go ahead and put that on there, or some accent as they sell it, and then put some buttermilk. Now, you don't got to drown the turkey in no buttermilk. Okay, just coat it in the buttermilk, right? Then you're going to put this in the fridge overnight. You have to let it sit at least overnight or at room temperature for a good hour, because that, that acid just needs to break down that tough turkey. Okay. Now I'm going in with some self-rising flour because I already has some baking powder, and then I'm going to season it with about a tablespoon of chicken bouillon, some Creole seasoning, and a little bit of lemon pepper. One thing you don't want to add to your batter though is anything that has a lot of herbs. Those herbs are going to burn. That actually needs to be on the turkey meat itself. If you do not want to use turkey legs, feel free to use some turkey wing, or even if you cut it into pieces, a little bit of turkey breast. But y'all know me and breast meat got, a love-hate relationship, because sometimes it's good and sometimes it ain't. All right. So I'm going to let these turkey legs just rest here for a few minutes while my oil is heating up. Once my oil is up to at least 350 degrees, I'm going to submerge them in that hot oil. Now, one mistake you don't want to make is to have this oil too hot. This is a thick piece of bird. Okay, so it needs time to really cook. So I have my temperature, I kind of keep the eye, I should say, on like a medium low. So on an electric stove, that's somewhere about a 4. You definitely don't want to have this oil raging, okay, like on a 9 or something like that, because the turkey will be raw. And don't nobody want salmonella, okay? While it is cooking, fish out any bits that fall off. And you should see, depending on how thick your legs are, that this takes about 15 to almost 20 minutes to thoroughly cook. Of course, you can keep a meat thermometer on hand. And when the inside reaches about 165 degrees, you will know it is ready. Now, my husband was eating this like a Viking with that big old turkey leg. Baby, let me know if you're going to make this. Now, I am going to show you how to make some smothered green beans.
So if they sold them at the like amusement parks, you know how they be roasting them big ass turkey hippo legs or whatever the fuck they is. If they was to do that shit at the amusement parks, like have that, I would eat that. Definitely. But then again, you know what I'm saying, with certain cultures, fried food is always welcome, no matter what it is.
And potatoes. While this could stand on its own as a meal, it is absolutely perfect paired with some rice, some cornbread, and a little fried chicken. Baby, you gonna be eating. Now, I'm not a big fan of snapping no green beans. Y'all already know, back in the day, grandmama had a garden and she'd have you sitting on that porch snapping.
Yes, my mama used to have us snap green beans. At one point, we was all snapping green beans. Yes, she's accurate on this and I concur.
Green beans all summer. All right, but I'm gonna do it today. You can snap your green beans into smaller pieces, but I like to just leave them whole. I'm also going to be dicing half of a white onion, and I'm also going to prep some potatoes. One thing I love about the South is that down here we can take any vegetable and pretty much any cut of meat and make it something that can be smothered with a nice gravy, okay? You can take green beans, potatoes, squash. Y'all, we will cook all types of meats in a rich gravy. Let me know, what are your favorite cuts of meats and vegetables to smother? Some of my favorites are lamb, chicken, and these green beans. So once I have peeled and cut off the bad spots of my potatoes, I'm going to just cut them into about 1-inch size pieces, and then I'm going to put them in some cold water. I'm going to rinse off some of the starch, and I'm going to, of course, add a little bit of that Piggly Wiggly. Now, if you don't do the pig, okay, you can do turkey bacon, and then you can add about 3 to 4 tablespoons of butter in order to make the gravy. I like to cut the bacon pack in half. It just makes it easier for me to get the bacon that I want. And then I'm going to cut these into about 1-inch strips. With the rest of the bacon that is left, that is perfect for me to air fry and use on burgers because it is already small. I have been heating my Dutch oven over medium heat. I'm going to put in my bacon and allow it to cook until it has rendered its fat. If you don't want so much fat, you definitely can scoop out some of the bacon fat, but of course you want to save all of the meat because we're going to add those back into the green beans. When they have rendered their fat, I'm taking out the bacon and I'm going to place it to the side, and I am just going to leave all of the grease in the pot. All of those little brown bits on the bottom, well, that is flavor, baby. Okay. Now I'm going to add in my onions and I'm going to saute them for about 3 to 4 minutes until they are translucent. And then I'm putting in a tablespoon of flour. I'm going to toast the flour for about a minute, continuously stirring because you don't want it to burn. This is what's going to help thicken up that gravy. Then I'm going to put in 3 cloves of minced garlic and cook this for about 30 seconds. At this point, your kitchen is going to be smelling amazing. Then I'm going to put in all of my green beans as well as some chicken broth, but you could also use water and then put in some chicken bouillon. I'm going to add just enough chicken broth initially until I can just start to see a little gravy form, and then I'll end up adding more later with the potatoes. To season this, I'm using some garlic powder, smoked paprika, Creole seasoning, a little bit of pepper, and I just like to do that to my own taste. And then I'm going to mix this thoroughly so that all the flavoring can just get all up in them green beans. I'm going to cover this. I'm going to allow this to simmer on medium low for about 15 minutes. At this point, my green beans are tender, but they are definitely not falling apart. I'm going to add in a little bit of chicken bouillon because I felt like the flavor was just lacking, okay? A little bit of crushed red pepper flakes, and mix this in. Of course, you can just season to your own taste. Now I'm going to add in the rest of that chicken broth. Because I'm going to put in some potatoes, I don't want the gravy to get too low because you know potatoes just be sucking up. They just be sucking up some water. Okay, so I'm going to add in these potatoes and I'm going to allow this to simmer until they are fork tender. This is going to take about 15 to 20 minutes depending on the type of potato that you have. I don't like to let this go too long because I'm not making mashed potatoes, okay? Now that my potatoes are ready and I've adjusted the seasonings the way I like, I'm going to throw back in that bacon. And y'all, this is when I just feel like everything comes together. You have the crispy, salty bacon, the creamy potatoes, a rich gravy, and then some delicious green beans. Pair this with some rice, cornbread, maybe a little fried chicken or your favorite sides, and this is a delicious meal. Let me know what size you would serve with this and if you're going to make this recipe. Have you ever tried seafood boiled potato salad? Now, if you are doing a seafood boil and you have...
Man, look, this lady has been blessed with a hand in the kitchen. She's dangerous. Man.
Potatoes left over, this is a great recipe to make with those super flavorful potatoes. But say you aren't doing a seafood boil and you just want this dish right now, well honey, I'm going to show you what to do. Okay, so I have some russet potatoes. I've washed them very well. I cut them in half and I am going to cover these potatoes with water. To mimic the flavors of a seafood boil, I'm going to add in a ton of seasonings. I have Old Bay, Creole seasoning, garlic powder, a bunch of salt, all types of stuff. Okay, I'm going to leave what I put in the description box, but you could also just use a pre-made seafood boil seasoning. Okay. Then I'm going to add some garlic, onion, and a cut in half mandarin orange, but you could also use half of a lemon instead. I'm also going to put in a little bit of shrimp and crab boil for a bit of spice, but this is optional. Once this comes to a boil, I'm going to let this simmer for about 25 minutes until the potatoes are fork tender. While that's cooking, go ahead and get 6 eggs and put them in a pot of cool water. Bring this to a rigorous boil, okay? It got to be an angry boil. And then you want to shut off the heat on the stove and let this sit for 10 minutes. Then you're going to cool the eggs off in cold ice water. When my potatoes are ready, I am going to drain them in the sink, and I'm going to remove the onion and orange and garlic, all those little extra flavorings in the seafood boil. We don't need them anymore, and I'm going to run these potatoes under some cold water. I am emphasizing the skin because I need them to be cool enough for me to be able to peel. But you could also just stick them in the fridge overnight, and that will cool them down as well. But you can see now that they've been cooked, they are super easy to peel. And you may notice that the potatoes have a little bit of a color on them. Well, remember that these potatoes have been cooking in seasonings, not just water. So their color may be a little bit different than if you were to just use salt water. Once they are cooled enough to the touch, I am going to cut them into pieces with a butter knife. They are super soft, so baby, we ain't got to bring out a big dog knife on this one, okay? As you can see, I have a plastic container in the background because I'm going to add these potatoes to the fridge. Now, my plan was to let them cool for a few hours, but then, baby, I got tired. Okay, I got tired. And so I actually let these potatoes sit in this fridge for 3 days. I know, honey. And they was fine, okay? But they ended up getting just a little bit darker, but they still tasted the exact same. When your eggs are completely cool, they should be super easy to peel. All you gotta do is give them a tap, a little roly roll, and then them shells are going to pop right off. I am going to put 3 of the eggs aside to put inside of the potato salad, and then I am going to take 3 other eggs and I'm going to cut them up to put on the top. I always like to put the egg on the top because not only does it look cute, but it just reminds anybody with them egg allergies, okay, don't mess with this. But if you black and got an egg allergy, I know you be struggling sometimes at the soul food dinner because you know black people cook with a lot of eggs. Potato salad, cornbread, fried chicken, meatloaf, pound cake, all of that got eggs in it. Now, I took these dill pickles as well, these bread and butter pickles, and I chopped them up real fine in place of a relish. You could also just use dill and sweet relish together. I'm then going to add about a cup or so of mayo, all of my chopped up pickles, a little bit of yellow mustard, some finely diced onions, and you do want to cut them pretty small to spread out the flavor. I'm also putting in the 3 eggs whole. I know some of y'all think I'm crazy, but I'm going to show y'all how I'm going to break them up, okay? I'm going to season this with some Creole seasoning, and then I'm going to use a potato masher to begin to break up the eggs. This will get them to be really fine pieces, and it will also help me to mash up some of the potatoes. I want to get some texture and some thickness into the potato salad. So here I am throwing in, y'all, them potatoes have been in that fridge for 3 days, okay? Don't talk about them. They still taste good, okay? And then I'm going to mash them up just a little bit until you get something kind of like this. This is enough to add that thickness to your seafood boiled potato salad. And then I'm going to put in the rest of my potatoes. I am going to mix them up well in the dressing, and then I'm going to just see if it needs anything. Because the potatoes are so highly seasoned, I actually did not feel that I needed to add anything else. There was enough salt and seasoning in the potatoes, and just that little bit of Creole seasoning and the pickles, I felt like added a really great flavor to this dish. You could also go in with some chopped up parsley if you want, but for me, just some eggs on top with a little bit of smoked paprika was perfect. Let me know if you are going to try this recipe. I love this potato salad.
Now, honestly, I'm not into like seafood boiled stuff. I don't really eat crab legs, lobster, none of that crap, but I would actually try this. Like, that looks good. I would actually try that. I would give it a go.
I am a sucker for some good dressing in a soul food meal. Honey, I do chicken and dressing, but baby, something about that seafood dressing that just steps it up. It's almost like a crab cake and a casserole, but we ain't using crab, okay? Because crab's too high, baby. If you use a crab, baby, go ahead and send me some money because you got money, okay? Today, I'm going to be using crawfish and shrimp, and it is going to make an amazing seafood dressing. Shellfish allergy? Need not apply. Okay, you know who you is if you can't, you and the seafood don't agree. Okay, but for everybody else that can partake in the blessing, make this recipe. I am making a little homemade buttermilk with some whole milk and vinegar, and then I am going to make some homemade cornbread. Now, y'all know I will pull out some Martha White cornbread in a minute, but see, some of y'all didn't think I could make the dressing with the homemade cornbread, so I'm gonna do it today, okay, just to show y'all what I can do. Okay, so I have some cornmeal, some flour, baking soda, baking powder, a little sugar, a little salt. Okay, ingredients will be in the description box. I'm going to mix it together. And then I'm going to make a well in the middle of the ingredients. I'm going to add in my wet ingredients, my eggs, some oil. I'm using canola oil, but you could use lard, you could use butter, whatever you want. And I'm also going to add in that DIY buttermilk. I'm then going to start to slowly mix everything together. In the comments, let me know, what cornbread team are you on? Are you on Team Jiffy, Team Martha, Team Homemade? Y'all know I like to doctor up some cornbread mixes in a second. Okay, that's usually what I do. But what do you typically do? Let me know in the comments. Now, I have had my skillet. Y'all know Sister Mabel. Okay, she making an appearance. Okay. She has been heating up in the oven with a little bit of vegetable oil at 400, and then I am going to add in my batter. I want those nice crispy edges. I'm going to cook this for about 18 to 20 minutes, or until a toothpick going through can come out clean. I'm going to allow that to cool, and then I'm going to work on the dressing. I have some butter. I have the Trinity, hallelujah. I'm using some onion, celery, and bell pepper. And I'm going to saute this for about 3 to 4 minutes until it has a nice color on it. I really like to put cream of mushroom or cream of chicken bases in my dressing for that.
I don't know about y'all, but when I smell stuff like this cooking, it smells so good. When you have like onions and celery and all the peppers and stuff like that, man, look, that shit smells so good, especially when you season it right. And you making it like maybe cheesesteaks or whatever else they be like making it with. I be seeing people make this shit with like a whole bunch of stuff, but whenever people make celery, onions, and peppers and all that stuff go together, man, it's something about to go down. That's all I know.
That extra moisture. However, since we are doing seafood, I figured we should make a cream of shrimp base. Now, technically they do sell that, but it is really hard to find. So instead, I would go and use 2 shrimp bouillon cubes. It ends up being a little cheaper anyway than buying the cream of shrimp. Then I'm going to add lots of spices and garlic and a little bit of flour, and I'm going to thicken this with some milk and cream in order to make a nice gravy. I'm going to use some fresh thyme and spring onion to add a nice fresh flavor, but you could also chop up a few sage leaves if you want to be a little bit more traditional with everything. Once all of my spices are in and they have toasted for about 30 seconds, I'm going to put in a capful of some shrimp and crab boil. That's going to add a little kick. And then I'll put in a tablespoon of fresh minced garlic. I'm going to saute that for about 30 seconds because you know seafood and garlic go together so well. And then I'm going to add in some flour. Now this flour is going to toast, and when I combine it with the water and the heavy cream, that is what's going to make basically your cream of shrimp base. This is the foundation of this dressing, but you know what? If you want to do something a little extra, you can even make some extra gravy and sort of take it to the side, and you could use that as a gravy when your dressing is done. So you could even double this if you wanted to have more gravy. Once you put in your water and your cream, of course, you just taste it to see if you want to adjust the seasoning, as this will be the base seasoning for the dish, and you can just let it simmer and thicken for about 1 minute. If it's a little too thick like mine, I went in and added a little bit of milk and some extra butter. Okay, you want it to be rich, and then my cream of shrimp base was finished. I am going to start seasoning the shrimp. Now I have a mixture of medium shrimp and also large shrimp. The medium shrimp, I'm going to leave them whole, and the large shrimp, the ones that I want to put on top, I have left them whole as well because we want decoration. Okay, and then I'm just going to put on a little bit of salt-free Cajun seasoning, and that's pretty much it. Okay. I have 1 pound of defrosted crawfish, and if it comes with that, crawfish fat, you want to keep that. So don't rinse your crawfish. That will add great flavor to your dish. I'm just going to add about a teaspoon of salt-free Cajun seasoning to this because we don't really want to over season or over salt the dish. Now my cornbread is hot. It is the best thing to do to make this the day before to let it cool. But hey, I was filming, you got to do what you got to do. Okay, sometimes you know what you're supposed to do and then you know what you're going to do today. Okay, and so today I crushed up some warm cornbread. Into this, I am going to add all of the gravy. Okay, you want to make sure you scrape that pan because we ain't going to leave nothing behind. As you mix everything together, you may find that your batter is not wet enough. You do not want a dry cornbread. So when I put mine together, I felt like it needed a little bit more milk, needed a little bit more moisture. So I just went and I put that in there. You may not feel that way, so you can kind of just use the milk if you need it, the extra milk that is. Y'all know with these old school recipes, you just got to feel and taste some things out. Okay, everything ain't gonna be exact. It just got to be, the way it is in your kitchen. You got to feel it out. So now I decided I want to go in and just adjust the seasoning a little bit with my favorite Creole seasoning, and then I just mixed it, added a little more milk, and just did what I had to do to get my cornbread right. So what you should pay attention to is the texture. Okay, look at the texture that I'm getting. You want yours to be a similar texture to mine. So that's really the goal here. I'm going to crack in 1 egg and I'm going to mix that in before I put in my crawfish because I don't want to over mix my seafood. Then I'm going to put in all the crawfish and the majority of the shrimp. I left out a few of the large shrimp because I want to place them on top. Look, with the way these shellfish allergies is built out here, okay, you got to let people know what they eating. Okay, so go ahead and stick that on top so don't nobody say they didn't know that there was shellfish up in the dressing. Okay, you want to just gently fold that together, and then you are going to put all of this mixture into a greased cast iron skillet. You will bake this at 375 degrees for 35 to 40 minutes. I know that may seem like a long time for seafood, but I assure you that the shrimp was not rubbery at all in this dressing. So this is the little garnish that I'm putting on. I just saved 5 shrimp. And I just put them around in a little decoration. Okay, we're trying to be cute. And then I place this in the oven. This dressing goes really well with the seafood boiled potato salad, those fried turkey legs. Guys, this whole meal is so good. Let me know if you're going to try any of these recipes. I'll see you next time. Goodbye.
Hey yo, man, I'm gonna tell you right now, that woman is dangerous. She can definitely cook. Like I said, I would probably try that stuffing too. But in fact, everything she made, I would probably try. There wasn't nothing that made me be like, ugh, I don't want that. But I'm just not into, like I said, I'm not into big seafood boils and all that shit. You know what I'm saying? For real, I eat shrimp and I really don't want to, but it just be tasting so good. And I already know it's fucking seafood, cockroaches, and all that extra shit. But you know what I'm saying? But you gotta pick your poison. So I don't really eat lobster, and I don't eat clams and all that extra shit. I don't eat all that shit. You know what I'm saying? So I think I tried crawfish once or twice or something like that. I can't really remember if it was good or not, uh, but yeah, these are like 4 recipes that she gave y'all that y'all can try for y'all holidays, either Christmas or Thanksgiving. Like I said, is right around the corner. Uh, these dishes is mainly made on both holidays, so it's not like they're just for any specific holiday. So if y'all find something in there that maybe look like y'all want to try, take what she did, put your little twist to it, might come out with something else. That's what I usually do when I cook. I see something, I get a visual of what I want to cook, or it's the visual of what I want to do. If I going off somebody else, they might got some ingredients in there that I can't eat or I can't use or I might not have, so I have to twist it. I have to put my own little twist on it. You know what I'm saying? So, and then you might come out with something else. So that's what I do. But other than that, that is tonight's show. I'm thanking y'all for sitting down and watching this whole show and to the end or whatever. If you made it this far, I appreciate it. I'll be back with some more reaction videos here soon. Y'all have a happy Thanksgiving and a happy holidays. Be safe. Love y'all. Peace.